Hi everyone, Claudia Glassman here with Mighty Oak Parenting. So last week I went to my children's school for one of their parent information sessions, and they were talking all about language development and how they teach reading and writing skills and all of the lessons and the progression of the lessons. And as I sat there, I was overwhelmed by the concept of learning these things. Now, I read every day. I write blog posts. I read news. I read ingredient labels. I read signs, all day long. I'm reading things, and I never really think twice about learning it. And nor do I even remember a time when I couldn't read. Well, obviously there was when I don't remember it. And I see it in my children now, who one of which is learning to read. And I see the effort that goes into it. But as I sat through this, discussion and this meeting, I was just blown away by the intricacies of it and the actual breakdown of the steps and how it all progresses. And then I was amazed that we ever learned to read because it seemed like a daunting task as I was sitting there. So as the day went on, I started thinking about this more and more. And then I thought about, well, we're in parenting and in raising children in other areas. Do kids face this, right? And I, realized that our children are learning so much all the time. And they're learning not only educational things like reading and writing and math, but how to behave in certain situations, how to manage emotions, how to resolve conflict with friends, how to interact with people, right? What rules to follow, how to handle impulses, like all of these things that our kids are constantly practicing and working on. And much like reading, these things take practice and they take rehearsal and they take a step-by-step approach. And, sometimes we as parents get really frustrated when we feel like we're on repeat, right? And I have this too, where I feel like I say the same thing every day, or we're working on the same, fight between the two girls every day. And we work through it and we break it down. But I too sometimes feel like I'm on repeat, and that's because we are. And we're on repeat because our kids need to practice and have those steps broken down for them, right? And so now when we practice things, like when we practice learning to read, sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we spell things correctly, sometimes we don't. There's nuances that we don't always pick up. So, in reading, there are words that don't make a lot of sense if we try to sound them out phonetically. And so they just kind of have to be memorized, right? And that's kind of the same for almost everything our children learn, right? There needs to be understanding the steps and the progressions and practicing them. And with practice means that we mess up, that we don't, have the outcome we desired, that we weren't able to manage our emotions the way we did them, 5 minutes before. And there's all kinds of factors that go into that. But just as parents, I think that's really helpful to keep in mind all of the things our children are learning any given day and ways in which we can support them in doing that. So next time you feel like you're kind of on repeat and you're getting frustrated thinking, my child should know better. We've discussed this. We've talked about this. Remember that learning is a process and it doesn't happen overnight. And that, the best thing we can do as parents is take a deep breath and break it down and help our children through the steps to complete the task or manage the emotion or whatever the case may be. But really just take that deep breath and walk them through it, because it does take practice before they'll be able to do it on their own consistently. So I hope that helps just kind of keep things in perspective for us as parents. I know we all have tough days where we're just like, oh, why are they not getting it, right? But there's a reason for it. They are learning and they will get it. And it's our job to remain patient and consistent, so that we can help them learn the skills that they'll need in life. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to catching up with you guys later in the week with another video. Have a good one. Bye.